We've come so far with these people, haven't we? Mother Loi, who started this journey, bent under the weight of shame and loss. Uncle Dung, patient and kind, waiting for her to be ready. Jack and Tien, watching from the sidelines, hoping their surprise trip would help. And now, we're here. At the moment when everything comes together or falls apart. Let me tell you how it ends. The police station sits quiet in the morning light, but inside there's electricity in the air. Mother Loi stands in the hallway, Uncle Dung's hand warm in hers, and takes a breath that goes all the way down. "You ready?" he asks softly. She thinks about the question. Ready to face Mrs. Lieu's betrayal? Ready to speak her truth in front of strangers? Ready to stop hiding? "Yes," she says, and means it. The conference room is fuller than she expected. A dozen people, maybe more, sitting in chairs arranged in a circle. Men and women, young and old. And on every face she sees it. That same expression she's been carrying for months. Shame mixed with anger. Hurt wrapped in determination. These are Mrs. Thu's victims. Mrs. Lieu's victims. Her people. Officer Vin stands at the front, and when he sees Mother Loi, his smile is genuine. "Mrs. Loi, thank you for coming. Please sit." Uncle Dung guides her to two empty chairs. She sits, and suddenly all eyes are on her. Expectant. Waiting. "Before we begin," Vin says, "I want to introduce everyone to Mrs. Loi. Her information about Mrs. Lieu Thi Mai was the breakthrough we needed. Thanks to her courage in coming forward, we were able to confirm our suspicions and move quickly." Murmurs around the circle. Nods. A woman across from Mother Loi reaches out, squeezes her hand briefly. "Thank you," she whispers. Mother Loi's throat tightens. She's not used to being thanked for making mistakes. Vin continues. "This morning, I'm pleased to tell you all that Mrs. Lieu was apprehended last night. She was attempting to board a flight to Singapore using a false passport." The room erupts, relief and anger and vindication all mixing together. Mother Loi feels Uncle Dung's arm come around her shoulders as tears stream down her face. They caught her. They actually caught her. Furthermore, Vin raises his voice over the noise. With both Mrs. Thu and Mrs. Lieu in custody, we've been able to trace significant assets. The recovery process will take time. Months, possibly. But I can tell you that approximately 60% of the stolen funds have been located and frozen. 60%. Mother Loi does the math in her head. It's not everything, but it's not nothing either. It's enough to rebuild, enough to move forward. The meeting continues. Vin explains next steps, legal proceedings, victim impact statements, the timeline for asset distribution. Mother Loi listens, but she's also watching the other people in the room, the way they lean toward each other, the way they're already forming connections, sharing phone numbers, promising to stay in touch. When it's her turn to speak, to tell her story about Mrs. Lieu's manipulation, Mother Loi stands. Her legs shake, but Uncle Dung is right there, steady and sure. "My name is Loi," she begins, "and I trusted someone I shouldn't have." She tells them about Mrs. Lieu's kindness, the food she brought when Mother Loi was sick, the casual questions that seemed so innocent, the way she disappeared the moment Mrs. Thu was arrested. "I felt so foolish," Mother Loi says, her voice stronger now. "I thought, how could I not see it? How could I let someone manipulate me like that?" Heads nod around the circle. They know. They all know. "But then someone told me something." She glances at Uncle Dung. "He said I was trusting, not foolish. That there's a difference, and I'm starting to believe that's true." She sits down to quiet applause. The woman next to her, Mrs. Hong, a retired teacher, takes her hand. We're all learning that, she says softly. Together. After the meeting, people cluster in small groups. Mother Loi finds herself surrounded by women her age, all sharing stories, all offering support. Phone numbers are exchanged. Plans are made for the next support group meeting. Not the official one, but their own. A space just for them. You should come, Mrs. Hong insists. Thursday evenings, we meet at the community centre. I will, Mother Loi promises, and knows she means it. Outside, the sun is bright and warm. Spring is finally asserting itself, pushing winter back. Uncle Dung waits by the car, giving her space to say her goodbyes. When she finally joins him, he takes one look at her face and smiles. How do you feel? Mother Loi considers this. She feels exhausted, relieved, angry still, but in a different way. And underneath it all, lighter. So much lighter. Free, she says. I feel free. He opens the car door for her, but before she gets in, she turns and wraps her arms around him. Hugs him tight there on the sidewalk, not caring who sees. Thank you, she whispers into his shoulder, for everything, for being here, for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. Uncle Dung holds her close. Loi, you did this. You're the one who remembered Mrs. Lieu. You're the one who came forward. You're the one who stood up and told your story. That was all you. But I couldn't have done it alone. No, he agrees. None of us can do anything truly important alone. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. They drive home in comfortable silence, hands linked across the console. Mother Loi watches the city slide past and thinks about the future, about the support group she's joining, about the money that might come back, about Uncle Dung beside her and Jack, and Tien waiting at home, about second chances and new beginnings and all the ways life surprises you when you're brave enough to stay open. Her phone buzzes. A text from Jack. How did it go? She types back, they caught her, and Mom is okay, better than okay. 3 dots appear immediately. Then, I'm so proud of you. Come home when you're ready. Tien's making lunch. Mother Loi shows the message to Uncle Dung, who smiles. Shall we? Actually, Mother Loi says, there's somewhere I want to go first, if you don't mind. Anywhere. She directs him through familiar streets until they pull up in front of her building. The place where Mrs. Lieu lived, where the deception happened. Wait here? She asks. I won't be long. Mother Loi takes the stairs to the 3rd floor, stands outside the apartment that was Mrs. Lieu's. The door is sealed with police tape. Evidence of a crime. Proof that justice is happening. She doesn't feel triumph looking at it, or even satisfaction, just closure. I trusted you, she says quietly to the closed door. And you betrayed that. But you don't own my story anymore. I do. She turns and walks away. Down the stairs, out into the sunlight, back to Uncle Dung waiting by the car. Okay, she says, sliding into the passenger seat. Now I'm ready. Let's go home. Home turns out to be exactly what Mother Loi needs. Jack opens the door before she can knock, pulls her into a hug that lifts her feet off the ground. Mom, I heard. Uncle Vin called. 60%, that's incredible. It is, she agrees, laughing against his shoulder. Put me down, you'll hurt your back. I'm not that old yet. But he sets her down gently, then pulls Uncle Dung into a hug too. Thank you for being there with her. Always, Uncle Dung says simply. Tien appears from the kitchen, wiping her hands on an apron. Mother Loi, come sit. I made your favourite, can chua with fish. The 4 of them settle around the table, and for a while there's just the comfortable sounds of family. bowls passing, rice being served, the sour-sweet smell of the soup filling the air. Mother Loi watches them, her son and his love, Uncle Dung beside her, and feels something settle in her chest. Gratitude, deep and warm and complete. "Mum," Jack says after a while, "can I ask you something?" "Of course." "What happens now? With the money? With everything?" Mother Loi sets down her spoon. She's been thinking about this all morning. The money, when it comes back, goes into savings, not investments, not land deals, just safety. She pauses, but that's not the important part. No. She looks around the table. The important part is that I'm not afraid anymore of making mistakes, of trusting people, of building something new. Her eyes find Uncle Dung's, of letting myself be happy. Tien reaches across, squeezes her hand. "You deserve happiness, Mom." "I'm starting to believe that," Mother Loi says softly. Finally. After lunch, Jack and Uncle Dung clear the table while Mother Loi and Tien sit on the porch. The afternoon is warm, the garden full of the vegetables Tien planted. Everything green and growing and alive. "Can I tell you something?" Mother Loi says. "Anything, Mum. When Jack's father left, I thought I'd never trust a man again, never let anyone close." She watches Uncle Dung through the window, laughing at something Jack said. "But Dung, he's different. He sees me, not who I was or who I should be, just who I am. And that's everything," Tien finishes. "Yes." They sit in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Tien speaks, her voice careful. "Mum, can I ask you something? About Uncle Dung?" Mother Loi's heart speeds up. "Yes? Are you..." Tien pauses. "Are you thinking about the future? With him?" The question hangs there, big and important. Mother Loi thinks about the dinners they've shared, the conversations that stretch for hours, the way her hand fits in his, the way he makes her laugh, the way she feels safe and seen and valued. "Yes," she says. "I am, not marriage, not right away. We're both too old to rush." She smiles. "But partnership, companionship, whatever shape that takes, yes, I want that with him." Tien's eyes fill with happy tears. "Oh, Mum, that's beautiful. Is it okay? With you and Jack? Okay?" Tien laughs. "Mum, we've been hoping for this. Jack loves Uncle Dung, and we both just want you to be happy." Mother Loi pulls her close. "I am happy. For the first time in so long, I am." Inside, Uncle Dung appears in the doorway. "Loi, can you come inside for a moment?" She finds Jack and Uncle Dung in the living room, both looking nervous, excited, like they're holding a secret that might explode. "What's going on?" she asks. Jack takes a breath. "Mum, Uncle Dung has something he wants to ask you, and Tien and I, we want you to know that whatever you decide, we support you completely." Mother Loi's heart does something acrobatic. She looks at Uncle Dung, who steps forward and takes both her hands. "Loi," he begins, "these past few weeks with you have been..." He pauses, gathering words. "They've reminded me what it means to really live, not just exist, not just go through motions, but to feel and hope and dream again." She can't breathe, can't think. "I'm not asking for anything official," he continues. "Not yet. We both need time. But Loi, I want to spend that time with you. I want to take you to dinner and walk in gardens and sit on porches talking until the stars come out. I want to be there when you go to your support group meetings. I want to celebrate when the money comes back and hold your hand if it doesn't." Tears stream down Mother Loi's face. "What I'm asking," Uncle Dung says, "is this. Will you let me be your partner, your companion, your..." He smiles. Your person. Mother Loi thinks about all the reasons to say no. She's been hurt before. Trust is terrifying. Love is a risk. The future is uncertain. But then she thinks about the mountain, about shared stories on a bus, about feeling seen and valued and chosen, about the difference between being strong alone and being strong together. She thinks about Jack's smile when he sees them together, about Tien's knowing looks, about a support group full of women who are learning to trust again, about getting 60% of her money back and realizing it doesn't matter as much as she thought. She thinks about second chances arriving on tour buses in comfortable shoes. Yes, she says, her voice clear and sure. Yes, Dung, I want that. I want all of it. With you. Uncle Dung's smile could light the world. He pulls her close, and she lets herself be held, lets herself lean, lets herself believe that this time, love might actually work. Jack appears beside them, Tien's hand in his. Mom, he says, voice thick with emotion, I'm so happy for you. Me too, she whispers. Me too. They stand there together, 4 people who've all found their way through darkness to light, who've all learned that family isn't just blood, it's choice and commitment and showing up even when it's hard. You know what? Mother Loi says, pulling back to look at all of them. I spent so long being ashamed, thinking I'd failed, but looking at all of you now, I realize something. What's that? Jack asks. That even my mistakes led somewhere beautiful. If I hadn't been scammed, Jack wouldn't have arranged the trip. If I hadn't gone on the trip, Dung and I wouldn't have had those hours on the bus. If we hadn't had those hours... She stops, emotion catching in her throat. I wouldn't be standing here right now, surrounded by people who love me, feeling hopeful about tomorrow. Mom, Jack says softly, you didn't need to get scammed to deserve love. No, she agrees, but maybe I needed to get scammed to believe I could accept it. Uncle Dung cups her face gently. Loi, you've always deserved love. Always. I'm starting to understand that, she says. Finally. The afternoon stretches golden and warm. They move to the porch, where Tien serves tea and Jack tells stories about work. Uncle Dung sits close to Mother Loi, their shoulders touching, hands linked. Every so often, she catches him looking at her with an expression that makes her heart skip. Wonder, gratitude, love. And she realizes she's looking at him the same way. I should probably go soon, Uncle Dung says eventually. Let you have family time. Stay, Mother Loi says immediately, then softer. Please, your family too, if you want to be. His smile is answer enough. They stay on the porch as the sun begins its descent, painting everything gold and amber. Mother Loi thinks about tomorrow, about the support group meeting on Thursday, about slowly, carefully building a life that includes Uncle Dung, about the possibility of getting her money back and what she'll do with it. But mostly, she thinks about now, about this moment, about being exactly where she is, with exactly these people, feeling exactly this way, safe, loved, home. You know what I realized today? She says to no one in particular. What's that, Mom? Jack asks. That Mrs. Thu and Mrs. Lieu, they took my money. They took my trust. They took months of my peace. She pauses, but they couldn't take the most important thing. What's that? Uncle Dung asks softly. My capacity to love, to hope, to try again. She looks around at the faces she loves most in the world. They couldn't take that. And that means I win. 3 months later, on a warm evening in late spring, Mother Loi sits on Jack and Tien's porch and thinks, this is the life. The garden has exploded with growth. Tomatoes hang heavy on their vines, exactly as Tien predicted. The vegetables they planted together have been harvested, sold, replanted. The cycle continues, steady and sure. Inside, laughter drifts through open windows. Jack and Uncle Dung are cooking dinner together, arguing good-naturedly about the proper way to season fish. Tien moves between them, mediating, adding her own suggestions that both men pretend to ignore before quietly implementing. Mother Loi smiles. This is what all of it was for. The money came back. Not all of it, 62% in the end, after legal fees and complications, but enough, more than enough. Mother Loi put it in savings, just as she'd promised herself. No investments, no land deals, just security, just safety. Mrs. Thu and Mrs. Lieu are both serving prison sentences. The trials were difficult. Mother Loi had to testify, had to face Mrs. Lieu across a courtroom and tell her story again. But Uncle Dung was there. Jack and Tien were there. And afterward, her support group took her out for dinner and reminded her that she was brave. She sees them every Thursday now. Mrs. Hong and Mrs. Phuong and all the others. They've become more than a support group. They've become friends, sisters in survival. They celebrate each other's victories, jobs found, relationships mended, money recovered. They hold each other through setbacks. They remind each other that healing isn't linear. Last week, Mrs. Hong told Mother Loi she was thinking about dating again. The whole group cheered. "Look at you," Mrs. Hong had said, gesturing at Mother Loi and Uncle Dung, who'd come to pick her up after the meeting. "You found love again. Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't she indeed?" Mother Loi's phone buzzes. A text from Uncle Dung, even though he's just inside. "Come eat." Jack's threatening to season the fish his way if you don't intervene. She laughs, types back, "Coming." But she sits a moment longer, watching the sun paint the garden gold, remembering. The bus ride up the mountain, Uncle Dung's hand in hers. The moment she realized she wasn't alone anymore. The police station, standing up, telling her story, watching Mrs. Lieu led away in handcuffs. The first support group meeting, finding her people, learning that shame loses its power when you share it. The dinners with Uncle Dung, so many dinners, learning to laugh again, learning to trust again, learning that love at 60-something looks different than love at 20, but it's no less real, no less precious. The afternoon, Jack took her aside and said, "Mom, if you and Uncle Dung if you decide to, Tien and I would be happy, just so you know." She'd cried then, happy tears, grateful tears. "We're taking it slow," she told him. "But yes, someday, maybe. Someday still feels right. There's no rush." She and Uncle Dung are building something steady and sure. Foundation first, then walls, then roof, then home. They're talking about taking a trip together. Just the two of them this time. Maybe back to the mountains. Maybe somewhere new. They have time to decide. The door opens. Uncle Dung appears, apron tied around his waist, wooden spoon in hand. "Loi, Jack really is about to ruin the fish. I need backup." She stands, crosses to him, rises on tiptoe to kiss his cheek. "Come in." His arm comes around her waist, easy and natural. They've gotten good at this, at being together, at making space for each other while still being themselves. Inside, the table is set. 4 places, 4 chairs, family gathered. Jack dishes out rice, while Tien brings the fish. Perfectly seasoned, she declares, after she made them compromise. Uncle Dung pours tea. Mother Loi sits and watches and feels her heart expand. "Before we eat," Jack says, raising his glass, "a toast." They all lift their glasses. Tea, simple and warm. To Mom, Jack continues, who taught me that strength isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up. Who showed me that it's never too late for second chances. Who proved that the best revenge against people who try to make you small is to stand up tall and keep growing. Mother Loi's eyes fill. Jack, to Loi, Uncle Dung adds, his voice warm. Who let me be brave enough to hope again. Who reminds me every day that love isn't about completing someone. It's about walking beside them. To Mother Loi, Tu Tien says softly, who welcomed me into this family with open arms. Who shows me what it means to be resilient. Who's becoming not just my mother-in-law, but my friend. Mother Loi can't speak, can only press her hands to her mouth as tears stream down. And to Uncle Dung, Jack adds, grinning. Welcome to the family, officially. They drink, they eat. Conversation flows like water. Easy, natural, full of laughter and gentle teasing. Jack tells a story about work. Tu Tien shares news about a new vegetable bed she wants to plant. Uncle Dung describes a business opportunity he's considering, asks Jack's opinion. Mother Loi mostly listens, watches, absorbs. This is a family. Blood and chosen and everything in between. After dinner, they move back to the porch. The night is clear, stars beginning to appear overhead. Mother Loi sits between Uncle Dung and Jack, Tu Tien curled in the chair across from them. Mum, Jack says after a while, can I ask you something? Always. Are you happy? It's the same question he asked months ago, but the answer feels different now. Deeper, more certain. Yes, she says simply. I am. Not happy like everything's perfect. Happy like everything is enough. The money came back, but even if it hadn't, she'd be okay. Mrs. Lieu is in prison, but even if she wasn't, Mother Loi would still be healing. Uncle Dung is here, and that's wonderful. But even if he weren't, she'd learned to stand on her own first. That's the difference. That's what the journey taught her. She's happy because she chose to be, because she did the work, because she let people help her, because she forgave herself, because she decided that one mistake, even an expensive one, didn't define her entire story. Good, Jack says, leaning his head on her shoulder. That's all I ever wanted. They sit in comfortable silence as night settles around them. In the garden, fireflies begin their dance. The air smells like jasmine and possibility. Mother Loi thinks about the woman she was 6 months ago, bent under shame, hiding from the world, convinced she'd never trust or love or hope again. She thinks about that woman with tenderness now, with compassion. You made it, she whispers to that earlier version of herself. You made it through. Uncle Dung's hand finds hers, squeezes gently. What are you thinking about? He asks. How far I've come, she says. How far we've all come. And how far we still get to go, he adds. Yes, that too. The future stretches ahead, unknown and uncertain. There will be challenges, setbacks, days when the shame tries to creep back in, days when trust feels scary again. But there will also be Thursday evenings with her support group, dinners with Uncle Dung, afternoons in this garden with Jack and Tu Tien, vegetables growing and being harvested, seasons changing, life continuing, and through it all, this, the knowledge that she's strong enough, that she's worthy enough, that she's loved enough. Not because she earned it, not because she deserved it, simply because she exists, because she's human, because she chose to keep going even when it was hard. Thank you, Mother Loi says to all of them, to no one in particular, to the universe that gave her this second chance. For what? Tu Tien asks, For this, for being here, for loving me through the worst and celebrating with me in the best. Mum, Jack says, we're the lucky ones. Are they? Maybe. Or maybe luck has nothing to do with it. Maybe it's just this: people choosing each other, over and over, day after day, building something beautiful from broken pieces. The night deepens, stars multiply overhead. Eventually, they'll go inside. Uncle Dung will drive home, but not before kissing Mother Loi goodnight on the porch, gentle and sweet. Jack and Tien will clean up, talking quietly in the kitchen. Mother Loi will help, moving through familiar motions, feeling grateful for ordinary moments. But right now, in this moment, they just sit together, complete. Mother Loi looks at her son, her beautiful, thoughtful son who arranged a mountain trip to save her. At Tien, sweet girl who welcomed her so fully into their life. At Uncle Dung, patient man who taught her that love could be gentle and safe. And she thinks, this is what healing looks like. Not dramatic, not perfect, just this. People who love you. A garden that grows. Stars overhead. Tea that's still warm. Hands to hold. Stories to share. Tomorrow to look forward to. The secrets are gone. The shame is lifting. The fear is fading. What remains is this: ordinary life. Complicated and beautiful and hard and wonderful. Exactly as it should be. Mother Loi closes her eyes, breathes deep, and smiles. She is here, present, grateful, home. And that is more than enough. That is everything.